First City Focus is supported in part by Duke Energy, powering the lives of its customers and communities. Online at duke-energy.com. Andy Ellerman of First City Wealth, serving Vincennes and surrounding communities to help with investing and planning for your future before and during retirement years. First City Wealth online at firstcitywealth.com. Colonial Assisted Living. Colonial is an assisted living residence promoting independence and dignity for each resident while providing the necessary assistance for daily living. Colonial Assisted Living, 1622 South Hart Street Road in Vincennes, 812-895-1504. And by donations contributed by Vincennes PBS viewers like you. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to First City Focus. I'm your host, Nicole Carey. On this episode, Granted continues to make a difference for local children battling life-threatening conditions. We'll explain how you can help by rappelling down an Evansville high-rise. The Knox County Public Library is continuing work on its Harvest of Black History project, most recently by collecting the oral histories from local residents. We'll learn about the project called Rooted Together. And the Old Town Players are kicking off an ambitious fundraising effort, aiming to raise $50,000 in just 60 days. We'll have all the details right now on First City Focus. It may be hard to believe, but spring will soon be upon us, and that means Granted's annual Over the Edge fundraiser is quickly approaching. Here to update us on what's being planned and all the exciting things going on with Granted is Susan Washburn and Jeff Perdue. Thanks for coming back to see us again.
Thanks for having us, Nicole.
It's been about a year since you guys were last in studio with us. How has the last year gone for Granted? And maybe for those who are still not familiar, tell us a little bit about what Granted is.
Okay, so Granted is a nonprofit that supports children ages 3 to 18 within a 100-mile radius of Evansville, where the children are have a life-threatening condition. So we grant the child's greatest wish, but what makes us unique is that we recognize when the wish is over, the kids are still sick or dying, and the family's still struggling. So we have a whole series of Beyond the Wish benefits.
What has been one of the greatest benefits, Jeff, of being part of this organization?
It's just the impact of these families. You really can't appreciate what a child or family goes through when they have a child with a critical illness. Just the hardships on the husband and the wife, trying to also hold down a job and take care of the other kids, and it's just really mind-blowing what they have to do. And so to be able to rally around these families and be there for them, be a support, it's just the greatest feeling in the world.
Right now, how many kids are waiting on a wish to be granted?
So we do not have a waiting list.
That's great.
As soon as the wishes are approved, and we approve wishes each month, we start working on it. So right now, we have about 20 wishes that we are working on.
Wow. I can't imagine seeing that work every day move a little bit forward. Mm-hmm. So of course, to make these wishes come true, you need the funds available to do that, and that's where your fundraisers come in. And if anyone hasn't heard about Over the Edge yet, I don't know where you've been, but tell us about Over the Edge and how this fundraiser got started.
Well, it's a very unique event. It's thrilling, it's exciting, it's not for the faint of heart.
Right.
This will be our 4th event. So April 26th, downtown Evansville, Centerpoint Energy is our partner. They've been an incredible supporter, and they allow us to have people rappel down the side of their building. So we have a company out of Canada called Over the Edge, and they've been putting these events on for 15 years, and they do all the design, and they bring the rigging crew. So it's a completely safe event. People don't have to have any prior rappelling experience. Mm-hmm. You can just show up and we'll put you and we'll train you and put you in all the safe equipment. But essentially, you raise $1,000 for Granted, and you get to rappel down a 9-story building, and it is quite a day.
Wow. So I think you kind of already touched on it, but I want to hit this home. Who can be a rappeller?
Good question. If you weigh between 100 and 300 pounds, we've had children rappel, we've had people in their 70s rappel. And so really that's the requirement, weigh between 100 and 300 pounds, no prior experience. And I think we have a big announcement to announce that this year we're going to have a new repeller. I'll let you share that.
Okay, yeah, you asked me before we started recording, and I will. I don't know that I have a fear of heights, but the thought of it, I think I told you, my heart started racing when I said, yes, I'll do it, but I will. I will be one of those repellers, so I'm going to be able to tell everyone firsthand what it's like.
So people need to follow your lead. So
That's
we
right.
appreciate it. We're excited to have you this year.
Yeah. Have you seen anyone step forward with maybe they have had this fear of heights or anything to really face that fear to be able to do this?
We've had a lot of people with fear, and the great thing is the Over the Edge crew and our volunteers that help support people, they're very good at calming you down and talking you through the entire process. It really is a safe fundraiser, but so far we haven't had anybody who has not actually gone over the edge.
My favorite, first of all, it's pretty incredible when you think about someone that says, yes, I'll rappel down a 9-story building. Yes, I'll raise $1,000 for granted. That's a whole different caliber of person. But my favorite rappellers are the ones who do have that fear.
Right.
And they overcome the fear. And their answer is always the same thing. They're like, I understand, or I think I understand what these children and families are going through, and if they can face that, then I can face my fear. And those are my favorite rappellers, are the ones that do have some fear. We've had a handful of people that are in tears all the way rappelling. We have a board member who cries every time she rappels, but she does it because she wants to support these kids and these families.
I was going to agree with that for sure, because when you think about what these kids go through, the fear that they face daily and their families as well, I think being able to do this, face a fear, knowing that you're going to do this safely, your outcome is going to be fine. I think the journey of going down that building, I can see where it could be quite emotional during this event.
We have, how many wish children do we typically have rappel every year?
5 to 7.
5 to 7 wish kids. It is incredible
That's
to watch these. They are the most fearless. I mean, we take wish kids up before the event ever happens to get to the top of the building. No fear, because they've told us what I have to face on a daily basis is nothing compared to this. I get to control my own destiny on this. So to get to watch these wish children rappel is really warms the heart.
How amazing. I mean, they're just a true testament to the spirit and the will of us human beings when we're faced with adversity. And it's great to rally around them and support. So we definitely want folks to sign up to be rappellers, to raise the money, and to get to take part in the fun event, the thrilling. But there's going to be other things going on as part of the event as well, correct?
Yeah, so it's an event for the entire family. We want to bring your family, bring your coworkers, bring your children. We have food trucks, we have musical entertainment, we have children face painting, we have police and fire trucks and SWAT trucks. We've had Star Wars characters. So it is a fun environment. It's an environment that everybody can come out. We have a big screen TV. We have camera people on the roof, so children get to see their mom or dad or their sibling on the roof while they're making the rappel. It's an incredible day, even if you just come out and watch to support it.
Yeah, and I know our own Dave Novak, he's already got ideas going of how he's going to put a GoPro on me and everything.
Grover, right? We're thinking Grover.
Maybe Grover, maybe,
right.
In his little cape. But it really is just a great and unique event for a great purpose. What have the crowds been like over the last couple of years when you've hosted the event?
Well, we typically have 170 to 200 rappellers. We've had crowd sizes of 400 to 500 people. Every year the crowd size grows. People stick around just because it's so much positive energy to be around these wish families, to see the wish children rappelling. The other cool thing is we never expected the costumes. Probably 90% of the rappellers are in these people go crazy on their costumes, superheroes. We've had Taylor Swift rappelling teams. So that's the cool thing, is just see all these.
Kind of a challenge within the challenge.
Absolutely.
Who can have the best costume?
Absolutely.
Exactly. We have our work cut out for us, team. So you're raising money to grant these wishes for the length of granted, and since its inception. How many wishes have been granted?
Totally, I think there's right around 500 that have been granted. We are averaging around 20 to 25 that we complete each year.
And that's growing.
It's growing as the need is there in the community.
Right.
We just are working on the families who need our services to know that we're here. And the word with events like this, and with the help that to get the word out, people are finding us.
And we serve about a 100-mile radius from Evansville, so that includes Vincennes, Lawrenceville, Washington, Lagodi, all those communities.
Right.
So we support a wide network that includes this community.
Mm-hmm. If anybody sees this and this is the first time they're hearing about Granted, maybe they want to get involved, or maybe they know a child that could use, having a wish being granted. Mm-hmm. What do they need to do?
They can just reach out to us. So you can get to us through our website, or you can call the office. We're very active on Facebook. So, as soon as we hear that there is a child in need, we work quickly to get approval and to just start helping them.
Okay. And so real quickly though, House of Hope, it's in the works still, construction. It's going to change lives as they deal with these life-threatening conditions. How is that going?
House of Hope is a comprehensive programming center that will allow us to best serve our families in our Beyond the Wish benefit program. And that we've cleared the ground, we've raised it to above the 100-year floodplain. Concrete, as soon as the weather breaks, concrete is going to be poured, and you will be able to see it rise out of the ground in the next couple of weeks, hopefully.
And 100% funded by the community. This will cost Granted nothing. This is 100% funded from people in the community, people giving money, people saying, I'll do the electrical, I'll do the HVAC. It's been an incredible experience to see the community rally around Granted and these children.
And what an amazing resource it's going to mean for these families.
Absolutely.
So right now, the assignment for everyone is sign up to be a repeller. If you've ever wanted to get that thrill, this is a great time to do it. A great opportunity. So what would be your last call to action, I guess?
My last call to action is, if you're thinking, yeah, I would do that, but I don't know if I could raise $1,000, sign up. We have a team who will help you. Raising the money will not be difficult. We have a team that will help you. But if you're like, yes, I would do it, I may cry going down or I won't cry, sign up. We'll help you figure out how to raise the money.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to work on a costume and confidence, I guess. But I'm excited to take part in it, and I guess we'll see you there.
Can't wait.
So I'm challenging everyone out there in our community, visit the Granted website, join me up on the high-rise building of Centerpoint in downtown Evansville, April 26th.
Thank you.
For more information on Granted and to sign up for that exciting opportunity to repel, you can follow a link on our website, vincentspbs.org. Well, a recent special event in Knox County brought together local residents to share their personal histories as part of a unique preservation effort. News director Dave Foster and photojournalist Dave Novak take us to the McGrady Brockman House for a look inside Rooted Together.
During Black History Month 2025 in Knox County, an initiative brought together local black residents to share their stories on video. This collaborative effort sought to capture and celebrate stories that might otherwise fade from memory. Oral history intern Olivia Novak was among those helping document the voices. She works with Indiana University's Center for Rural Engagement, which partnered with Knox County and Indiana Landmarks to capture black history in rural communities like Vincennes. Novak told us she has already been in other Indiana cities like Indianapolis and Washington, collecting people's stories.
We'll kind of ask things having to do with all aspects of a person's life, so starting from childhood and early life into like family, education, work, all of that. So trying to just get like a chronological order of a person's life. And it really is just to highlight Black history because it's often an aspect of history that's overlooked. So that's what the whole project is about.
One of the many sharing their stories here was Vincennes resident William Henry Morris.
I was born in 1956, and so I grew up through some of the years of the struggle. Never really experienced a whole lot of difference in as far as races and those kind of things. It's not that they didn't exist, but I grew up at least in an era where blacks were able to swim in the swimming pool, with whites.
Morris says he does remember blacks having to sit in the balcony at the movie theater and only being allowed at the local skating rink on Friday nights. But he says those realities helped to strengthen community bonds.
Because we had people who came from Lawrenceville, from Washington, from Princeton. So, it was more of a situation where you got to meet other blacks from different communities. So it was a culture building thing. So, but, primarily that's probably the most that I can remember growing up as a child. I didn't notice a whole lot of anything going on as far as in schools. We took the same classes as white students, so like I said, a lot of that I didn't experience. And luckily, my parents did, but I didn't.
Local high school students were very much involved in this effort. Lincoln High School English Language Arts teacher Angela Baldwin also teaches project-based learning as the P-TECH ELA teacher, and she was here guiding her students in the process.
And the difference about this project is, students can sit in a classroom and learn history. They can read a book, but in this case, they're not just interacting with primary sources, they're actually helping to create primary sources. So we've talked a lot about the questions that you ask might be something that this person's great-great-grandchild goes back later to see, hey, that's my family, and can actually see them speak and hear their stories.
Baldwin explained that the students underwent StoryCorps training to learn interviewing techniques, ensuring their questions would be historically significant and preserved in the Indiana Memories database maintained by the Indiana State Library. With that training in hand, students were eager to begin their interviews, fully aware of the importance of the stories they were about to record.
I started with just, can you describe your earliest memory of going to school? And we kind of went from there. It just became a conversation. From elementary to 8th grade-ish, she went to the colored school, and it was the Wheatland Colored School, and it was just one room.
While conducting the interviews, these 10th grade P-TECH students were not focused on themselves, but rather on their role in preserving history for future generations.
I'm not thinking too much about how, this is me, I'm going to be interviewing, I'm going to be in this thing. I'm more thinking about, this is so great that I get to talk to someone that's then going to become a piece of history. And people themselves are history, but now we're going to be able to take that history and really keep it.
And for William Henry Morris, keeping that history isn't just about remembering the past, it's about ensuring that these young people and future generations understand the full story.
I think it's very important, especially now. We live in a time where some people would want to neglect any black history at all. And if you separate or neglect the black history of this country, you miss a good piece of your pie. And because, blacks have contributed so much to this country, and the good and the bad, and that's the thing, history is history, we have to accept whatever it is. And, there's some stuff you think, well, maybe we don't want to talk about that, but if you went through it, it's history. We wake up every day and we live history.
Morris also shared that he doesn't like using the word race to separate people. He believes we are all part of the human race. And perhaps by remembering that, we can better understand how we are all truly rooted together. For photojournalist Dave Novak, I'm Vincennes PBS News Director Dave Foster for First City Focus.
For more information on the local Black History Preservation Project, you can follow a link on our website. A local community theater group is embarking on its largest fundraising effort to date. The Old Town Players are seeking to raise $50,000 in just 60 days through the Patronicity Matching Grant Campaign. Here with all the details are Sherry Phillips and Steve Gray. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So you have a very lofty fundraising goal set before you in the next 60 days. Explain how this opportunity came to be for the Old Town Players.
Well, Jamie Dugan was instrumental in getting the teen center started in our basement, and she helped with this idea of going through Patronicity. We know several groups locally have done that too. So we looked into it and we applied. A long process. We thought this process was going to start last summer when we normally do our fundraising for this year, but it got delayed, red tape. Finally, we're approved for March 1st to start, and it'll last for 60 days. All contributions have to be in by April 30th to get a match. and it matches at $50,000. We have to raise $50,000, but if we do, they match that amount.
Okay. All the funds coming in, what are they going to be used for?
We've got a number of projects as far as our veranda out front needs a new covering, and it leaks to the area below the entryway and the restrooms and that and the like. We had to repair the walls several times. The paint, we need to paint the auditorium, paint the ceiling badly because it's peeling away. It was painted years ago. It's one of those old tin panel ceilings from the early 1900s, and they painted it, and that paint's peeling off now, and that right there is almost $15,000. So you know, we're on the lookout for a new roof because we do have some leaks. We have some internal repairs from the leaks we need to make on the stage. There's a soffit and guttering repair. We have some holes up there that wildlife can get in. Those are some of the projects we want to address.
Sherry, what does this fundraising effort mean if we see it to fruition, if we get $50,000 in 60 days? What does this mean to the theater for its longevity?
Well, it just means, I mean, the repairs to the building itself, like the veranda, because the veranda is kind of pulling away from the building because it was added on later, and the leaks and the estimate that we got for repairing it properly and doing all that is like $46,000. The guttering and the soffit and roof, it's like $48,000. Like Steve said, the ceiling in the auditorium is almost $15,000. And I mean, there's a lot of other things that we'd like to do if we have more money. I mean, we'd like to update the bathrooms. We'd like to paint the walls in the auditorium. I mean, there's just an array. But when you get a building that's over 100 years old, the upkeep on it is just astronomical that people just don't realize. I mean, we can raise the money to run our yearly projects.
Your programming.
Programming and stuff, but there's not a lot left. I mean, you know, you figure in when you've got gas and electric bills in the winter that's over $2,000. You know, we've got bills just like everybody else, insurance, and a lot of people don't realize that we have to pay royalties for all the shows. So that's where our budget that we raise normally through the shows go. So the stuff for the building itself are few and far between to have the extra money, especially like $46,000. I mean, you know, we can come up with a couple thousand, but those big ones are really really important, and they're important to the building because if the building crumbles, we've got no place to put on the shows.
Yeah. So we've got about a minute left, but what would you tell folks who are maybe considering making a donation?
Well, I would say do it now. I mean, do it during this. I mean, we'll double what we get. What they want to give is going to be doubled if we get to $50,000. And if we raise over $50,000, we can address some of the other needs that we need that are going to take it over 100. So I'd say if people ever wanted to give to the theater and support cultural arts in our community, this will be the time to do it.
Okay, all right. And so where can they go to make that donation?
Okay, our website will have information on that. We're doing a big mailing. There'll be a lot of PR, emails, social media. It's going to be all over the place. There'll be a link, and there's also a QR code. They can go directly to Patronicity and give directly there, or they can mail a check or give a donation while they're at the theater, cash or check.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll check back in 60 days, and hopefully we can help make a big announcement on behalf of OTP that it's been met.
Yeah,
great.
Hope so.
Good luck.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
And if you'd like to donate, you can find a link to connect to the Old Town Players on our website. And now for our final focus. The Freetown Village Singers of Indianapolis recently made a stop in Vincennes, sharing their music and stories to highlight African American history and culture. Dave Novak shows us how this traveling living museum is helping to educate different communities on the importance of learning from the past.
Well, Freetown Village is actually a living history museum where we bring the museum to you. You never have to come to a physical location. Wherever you are is where we come and present the education, the songs, and the knowledge of Freetown Village. We teach about how they lived, and we also teach about why they sung the songs they sung, especially when they were trying to escape from slavery.
Now, many of them thought of water as a metaphor for cleansing, baptism, healing, and freedom. Now, I told you, I'm the one that loves to talk. But I'm sure y'all know what this next song is. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water.
Wade in the water, oh, that's a strong one, the Harriet Tubman story. We want you to be knowledgeable about the songs and why they sung the songs, when they sung the songs, and the purpose and meaning of each and every song. Freetown Village has been around since 1982. Ophelia Wellington is the one that founded the organization. What she wanted people to understand the history in a way that they remember it. And the one form that she came up with was to act it out. So there's other characters a part of Freetown Village that you can learn about. There's singing, of course, and there was a baseball team. There's an evening dinner with Freetown. There's actually a summer camp where the kids come together and learn all about their heritage and history. First time, some of them are actually amazed. They're amazed firstly at the costumes, and they're secondly amazed at the sound that they hear and the stories that they hear, the knowledge that they gain. I mean, they're so well informed when they leave. We actually stand around for a few minutes or a few hours or so just talking about the history, and they have a whole bunch of questions about 1870 and what we do, why we do it. We just want people to be filled with the knowledge of 1870 or Black history as they go along in this journey.
That was amazing. If you would like to learn more about the Freetown Village Singers, you know what to do. Just head on over to our website, vincentspbs.org. And while you're online, make sure you stop on over at YouTube to subscribe to our Vincennes PBS YouTube channel so you can see all of our great content as we post it there. And don't forget to like and share our videos as well. That's all for this edition of First City Focus. For everyone here at Vincennes PBS, I'm Nicole Carey. We'll be back next week.
First City Focus is supported in part by Duke Energy, powering the lives of its customers and communities. Online at duke-energy.com. Andy Ellerman of First City Wealth, serving Vincennes and surrounding communities to help with investing and planning for your future before and during retirement years. First City Wealth online at firstcitywealth.com. Colonial Assisted Living. Colonial is an assisted living residence promoting independence and dignity for each resident while providing the necessary assistance for daily living. Colonial Assisted Living, 1622 South Hart Street Road in Vincennes, 812-895-1504. And by donations contributed by Vincennes PBS viewers like you. Thank you.